I welcome everyone to today's hearing. It is the first hearing of the Subcommittee on Contracting Oversight of the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. I am extremely honored to have the opportunity to conduct this hearing and many others that will follow. This is going to be about our concerted effort to identify the waste and fraud and abuse that has occurred in government contracting. Last year, the federal government awarded $518 billion in contracts. This year, that number will grow even higher because of, obviously, the hundreds of billions of dollars in stimulus money that will be awarded through contracting. Even a very small percentage of fraud costs taxpayers dearly. That's why we have chosen this first hearing to look at the issue of fraud. I want to welcome all four of you, and I appreciate all of your work. Brian Miller is the Inspector General for the General Services Administration. He is also the Vice Chair of the National Procurement Fraud Task Force and the Co-Chair, with Mr. Skinner, of the National Procurement Fraud Task Force Legislation Committee. Richard Skinner is the Inspector General for the Department of Homeland Security. He served with Mr. Miller, as I said, as the co-chair of that Procurement Fraud Task Force. Charles Beardall is the Deputy Inspector General for Investigations at the Department of Defense. As the agency with a lion's share of government contracting, you're going to get a lot of attention in this committee, Mr. Beardall. The Department of Defense also has the lion's share of contracting fraud. I welcome your perspective on these issues. Tony Ogden is the Inspector General of the Government Printing Office. He is the chair of the Legislation Committee of the Council of Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency. Raise your hands, please. Do you swear that the testimony you will give before this subcommittee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you all. If you could only pick one, what would that one tool be that you would add to your tool chest to do a better job in finding people who are ripping off our government? Mr. Miller.
I think the one tool that could help us immediately is what I call the don't tip off the target proposal. That is getting financial records without tipping off the owner of the financial records.
You want to make sure that you don't have to tell them ahead of time you're coming after them.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you.
That makes perfect sense to me. Mr. Skinner.
The ability to do electronic computer matching.
Computer matching for you.
Yes.
Okay.
More agents. I would also probably say more auditors and more agents, but certainly with the challenges we face in the Department of Defense, 366 agents spreads very thin.
Mr. Ogden.
Clearly, it was the subpoena, the expansion of the subpoena authority to be able to compel access to contractors and subcontractors.
We've got to work on don't tip off the bad guy before we have to. We've got to do a better job on the computer matching. We've got to get more agents for DCIS, and we've got to deal with the subpoena authority.